Hi everybody, it's Tuesday, April 28th. Gardeners are crazy people out here in the rain. It's not raining too bad. Anyhow, Teresa got the metal fence up for the string beans and the cucumbers to climb. She's throwing a little fertilizer on it, but that's Teresa. Hi Teresa.
Yeah, hi.
I'm Charlie, Garden for Two. So over here, she's going to put in some onions today.
All the way on the back row.
They look awful.
Yeah,
So everything's kind of coming up.
potatoes are up.
Yeah, it's completely different than last time when we were in here. I see green.
I did a second planting of carrots a few days ago, and they'll come up too. I have to, when you plant seeds, you need to wet the beds every day if it doesn't rain. You can count that if it makes the whole ground dark colored. But if it looks like this, the rain doesn't count.
It hasn't rained for 5 days.
You see the dry spots.
Yeah.
And the onions, you have to be very careful of your seed starting mix if you're sprouting things in the house, because sometimes you get a bad batch, which I did. And what happened was the onions sort of sprouted, but they languished. And I looked at it, and then I realized that the stuff that was in it was so woody, had so many wood pieces in it that were not rotted wood. And they were stealing the nitrogen from the onions. And onions like to start with a whole bunch of nitrogen. So they're over here.
Yeah, so she's putting those in. So there they are. So you give them a haircut when they get too tall.
Yeah, but I would have had to cut their hair by now, but
No, they don't need their haircut yet. Yeah, they're just right.
so I'm just gonna.
Look how dry that is. Oh my gosh.
This isn't too bad. See, it's moist.
Yeah, underneath it's got some.
And onions don't like it very wet. Last year it rained a lot, too much for onions, and the soil was constantly wet, and my onions did not store well.
Mm-hmm.
And I wound up cutting up a bunch and freezing them because they were big, but they just started to rot prematurely. So I hope I have better luck, even though by sprinkling chicken manure on the onions, I finally got them to grow. This is what they looked like before. This was a whole nother bed. And I didn't catch these soon enough.
Yuck.
And when I planted the next batch, I knew to put nitrogen into them.
Well, stuff happens as a gardener. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work the same. Anyhow, this is our video diary. We don't do like professionally edited videos for gardening. It's just for kind of for us to remember when the heck we planted things. So now we'll know April 28th we put the onions in the ground in a rainstorm. Actually, the rain's just starting right now.
Actually, rain is a good time to plant seeds.
Yeah, I know. But I'm getting wet. My camera's got all dots on it.
Uh-oh.
Looks like I'll have lettuce pretty soon. How about that?
Yeah, that's nice.
The strawberries are doing really good over there. What are you putting down there? I forgot.
This is just organic. I think it's 433.
Yeah. We try and use everything organic.
And I forget the brand name, but the best place to buy it is in a 25-pound bag, at least in this area of Delaware. It's good price at Tractor Supply.
Yeah, there's a free commercial, right?
Yeah.
We're not sponsored. You
Yeah.
putting commercials in my videos now?
Oh, sorry.
She only does that because she's got a couple friends at Tractor Supply she likes to go over there and talk with.
Yeah, they're very nice people.
That's not the only reason, but that is one of the reasons.
Okay.
So how are you going to do this? You're going to make like a row and then just pull them out a little at a time and put them in a row?
Yeah, I do try and put them in a row, one way or the other, it doesn't matter. But I have to get my star hoe and hoe the ground a little bit. Well, let me show you.
Okay, I'm going to press pause.
Okay.
So it's hoe down time.
I've had this hoe for about 30 years. And every once in a while I sharpen it on either side. This is what you do with it. You slide it along the surface, and you see there's a lot of uncomposted compost in here. But it will uproot the weeds. The stuff slides between the blades. And it comes in really handy because, here's some right here. Oh, that's a sunflower. Because I don't like to crawl around a weed anymore. I used to think it was fun, but now it's a lot of bending. So, what can you do?
Well, you get a Styropo.
Yeah.
That spot there where that little sunflower is, we had a 20-foot tall sunflower right there last year.
It was about 12 feet tall.
Yeah, 20 feet.
Yeah.
25, make it 25.
I know. I know.
We'll do like the government, make it 30. 30 feet tall. 20 feet, I think 20 feet because it was 2 stories tall. About as high as a 2-story house.
It wasn't. But, yeah, it was quite tall. I was very surprised.
Why do you bother growing onions? Aren't onions like really cheap?
Who knows what they're going to be next year? A lot of things went up in price. And when I grow my onions, I know where they came from. I know what they're sprayed with. I know when I store them how old they are. And yeah.
Are these yellow onions, white onions, sweet
these
onions?
are just yellow onions. I did 5 sweet onions this year because I was just overwhelmed. Actually, I buy my seeds over the winter, and I had surgery and just stuff, so I had yellow onions, and they're good too. They're just not as good fresh. I was going to get purple, which are the salad onions. They're good fresh too, but I do make a lot of soups and stews over the winter.
We use a lot of onion, yeah, there's no doubt. So this is a whole 4x8 bed. Is this whole thing going to be onions?
Yeah.
Oh. You do any companion planting in it?
No, onions are a companion plant, actually. You know what? I'm not going to plant them today because it really is too dry for them.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wet it down. Some of the other beds are more moist. But I am going to plant the beans and cucumber seeds today.
All right, I'm pressing pause. We'll see if we're going to plant anything else. While I'm waiting on her, you can see this fence. This is, again, it's a freebie. And she put this in here. And I presume she's going to put her tomatoes right here and let them climb up that. We just grab all this rusty fence wherever we can get it, and whatever poles. Some of these are beach umbrella poles. People, their umbrellas get blown away and break, and we take the poles. All right, I'm waiting on her. Let me see if she's going to plant anything. Yeah, she's over here.
Yeah. In this bed,
This is
I started the irrigation earlier today, so that where the seeds are going at least would be wet. I've tried to keep the bed moist, but
You're planting string beans in here today?
yeah, this is string beans. Right now,
That's the rest of the trellis she built.
I'm dislodging anything that's grown over the week. I have, since I grew cucumbers in this bed last year, there are some cucumbers coming up, and they're over there in the middle. But I'm not going to let them live with the string beans, so they got to go.
We did that last year. We couldn't pick them. Everything got so tight together. It was not good.
Well, yes. We had so many cucumbers.
Yeah.
I made relish and pickled cucumbers. We had cucumber salad. I tried making cucumber salad and keeping it in a jar, a gallon jar. And that was good for a while.
Okay.
And, well,
All right. And then this is the asparagus bed. It looks like crap.
look at this one right there.
Oh, look at that one right there. Yeah. I'm just not getting the yield that I like. And then she's letting some of it go to fern already. And again, I don't like that.
That is not what you're supposed to do.
That's what she says.
You don't pick the skinny ones.
I
Just pick the ones that are bigger than a pencil.
yeah,
around.
yeah. I don't know much about it. I just eat it.
Okay.
But I've had asparagus with my eggs in the morning. I've had asparagus soup a couple of times already. And then we just eat it by the handfuls. It's very good for us. It's all organic, good stuff. All right, so she's just going to plant these in here. It's nothing exciting. You saw her preparing the beds. That's the hardest part. The seed part is just getting down on your hands and knees. So,
So, these are the varieties Malibu, which I have been growing for a long time. I even grew them in North Carolina. They're fairly resistant to the most common string bean diseases. They'll get some rust, which is they're tolerant of. I save these because I get so many beans that I'm able to save them. So, ouch. So I don't have to pay for them. Price of seeds has gone up. I usually plant the biggest ones and just kind of,
well, plant the tasty ones.
yeah, plant the biggest one.
We eat a lot of string beans.
Especially fresh.
But this section here is more than enough for, it's garden for two. We're trying to grow everything for the two of us. And this one section here is plenty on string beans.
Yeah, I make string bean salad. I freeze some. I did try canning some. I wasn't happy with the texture, but it turns out that the canned ones are really good in soups and stews. They kind of dissolve into the soup or the stew, and they give it a good flavor. So I'm going to pressure can some more this year.
And I'll confirm that it does make it taste good.
Very nutritious.
So she does one sowing here, which is something that I try and say to her, like, you should do some succession plantings, so we have them. But honestly, these guys grow all the way. The leaves are dying on it and looking awful, and it's still producing string beans. So,
well, also I found that toward the end of the season, say in August or September, if the beans will grow all the way over and come down the other side of the trellis. If you kind of pick the most lively ones and you cut them short, then they'll start sprouting at the bottom, and then you'll get a whole half crop later in the season just down low where you can pick them really easily.
Pluck when they're at the top. You got to get up there on the ladder. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But we get a basket full like every day.
And you grow a lot of string beans in a small area, whereas if you just did bush beans, you only get half. Of course, bush beans have a slightly different flavor.
I like the ones we grow. I hate those stringy ones.
Right. Me too.
All right, guys. This has been a pretty long video. It's already 13 minutes, so I'm going to sign off. It's Charlie and Teresa Garden for Two. As usual, if you have any questions for Teresa, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll share them with her and get her an answer.